First of all, I was just thinking back that you mentioned the naivety of like it couldn't be that hard. You know, like how many businesses are started with such statements
Yeah.
as, which reminded me, I mean, before we started recording, you were talking about the Hacker News crowd and how often you see those kind of statements on Hacker News when somebody releases their product. I could build this in a weekend. And it's like, first of all, no, you couldn't. But second of all, we all understand that sentiment because that core thing, of course, you could do in 48 hours, maybe 72 hours or whatever it is. But you're so far from finished at that point. You almost have to have, whether it's arrogance or naivety or a combination or whatever it is, to say, I'm actually going to try this and get started and get going and have a different idea. Like, hey, what if we put everything in memory to even start on a journey that's going to take 7 years? And I'm sure it's just getting started, right? Like, you
Hmm.
guys aren't at your finish line. You're like just barely off the starting line. So it's always cool to see when a story like that comes to fruition, even though it's like so often that is the story. It's like, yeah, it couldn't be that hard. And now 7 years later, you're like, actually, it was really hard. And it still is.
Yeah. Like you said, maybe the core of stuff you can get done in a weekend or whatever unit of time, which is smaller, is maybe a little closer to what you have in mind. But the iterations on top of that to actually make it a product that someone other than you can use, that is what takes so much effort. And it's not even just effort on your side. Of course, you have to invest a lot of time, but it's also interacting with people who are using the product other than you, getting that feedback, and then iterating based on that feedback. I think that is what
Hmm.
takes a lot of effort and time, because even if you were to iterate by yourself, for whatever X amount of years, I don't think the product will be as mature as being able to iterate with actual people using it and giving you feedback. So case in point, for example, for us, so at one point we tried